So is it worth growing little piddly potatoes like this? Let's find out. I planted some on the 6th of April this year into some containers, and I'll put that video up for you in a moment. But I'll just show you the containers here now. So the little container, so the little potatoes in this one. I've got the medium in this one, and the smallish medium potatoes which have the long chits in this one. All I've done since that time is I've just earthed them up with some spent compost, just because I could start to see the potatoes. And you can see that one just there, it's already been eaten by a slug. But pretty much all the foliage has gone yellow now, or flopped over, or been eaten by slugs. So what I'll do is I'll put the video up here now of what I did when I planted them, and how many potatoes, etc., and the fertilizer and the compost what I used. And then yeah, while you're watching that, I'll get these out, get them ready to be tipped out. Right, so is it actually worth planting piddly little potatoes like this? Got a few little tiny little chits on them and stuff, but I'm not really sure whether it is worth bothering keeping them and just binning them. But these are a little bit better, they're a little bit bigger, and these are, so I've got quite long chits on really, not the best. But I'm going to get them planted up into these sort of large size containers here, and it's old compost what I've been using before for either peppers, tomatoes or potatoes, and I've just sort of mixed it all up in the big bucket over there and divided it between the three. Actually there's a little bit more compost in these two, because I think they're only sort of like second earlies or first earlies, where the roosters here, they're a main crop, so I'm going to put them at the bottom, well, with the other ones. I'm not 100% sure what varieties they are. This one I'm pretty sure is a rooster. That one, I don't think it is a charlotte, because when I've seen other people's videos where their charlottes chitting, they look like a different coloured chit, so they could be kestrel in there. I'm not entirely sure what these are, Sarpo Mira or more Albert Bartlett roosters, not really sure. Bit interesting to find out how they grow, and if they produce and how much they produce. So like I say, the compost is all old compost, but I have reinvigorated it with some potato fertilizer, seaweed powder, bloodfish and bone, and ground sulphur. So I've put 3 scoops of bloodfish and bone in with this little scoop here, which is, well, it looks at 2 fluid ounces. So I've put 3 scoops of bloodfish and bone, 2 scoops of potato fertilizer, 1 scoop of seaweed, and 1 scoop of sulphur into each container. So I'm going to put the potatoes in, and then I'll be topping it up with, that's not miracle grown there, that's homemade compost which has been used for other things, so that'll be going on top. So let's just start popping the potatoes in then. Get out the sun. So we've got the charlottes here, the rooster there, all these other little ones just here, and then all these other ones with the long chits laid out so they don't snap when I put the soil on. But it'll be interesting to see how much I get and if it's worth doing it, if it's just not worth the effort. I mean, I've got old compost, old little potatoes and old containers, so it's not costing me nothing. But I'll bring you back in a minute when I've topped it up. Ooh, wind today. Ooh, it's nice and mild. It's supposed to be the hottest day of the year. Oh, yeah, that's the point. What's the date today as well? I better write that on here as well, hadn't I? Smooth this out first. So I probably won't give these any more fertiliser unless they look like they might need it. I might do. If I do, I'll bring you back. But what's the date today? 6th of the 4th. Sweet. Okay, so let's tip these out and let's see if it's worth all the effort. Although it wasn't really a massive amount of effort, but if you wanted to do it from scratch, it would be. So let's have a look, see if it's worth doing it by tipping them out. Okay, before we harvest them, I'll rip all this off anyway. And ooh, might be, I'm not sure what potato variety is. That's not a bad sized potato. That's a good sign. Ooh, I don't want to spoil the surprise. Yeah, rip these off, get them out of the way. Should have brought my secateur, shouldn't I? I'll get rid of that one because that's already been eaten. Okay, that's got rid of the foliage. And you can already tell there's some half decent ones on there. I'll just adjust the camera so you can see. So I did put quite a few potatoes in there, I'm not going to lie, but they're only little piddler ones. They probably weigh the same as about 4 or 6 normal seed potatoes. But I hope I get a half decent harvest, really. I mean, that's looking pretty good so far. So there's one of the seed potatoes, look. It's still got a little bit of energy in it, a little bit squishy. I'll just put that straight in there. But do you know what? There's not bad sized potatoes in there at all. And it's definitely a mixture. Like, that's definitely different from that one. But, got a little bit of scab on them. I mean, there's quite a few plants in this container, so to keep them well watered was a bit of a mission. Like every single day they'd have at least a watering can, and they'd still be dry by the next day. So, yeah, if you are going to do this and put quite a few in, it's probably best you're near a tap. Now, there's some of the sulphur in the compost still, it hasn't decomposed. But, right, let me get these potatoes up and mix them all up, innit? Do you know what? I think this is going to be a massive harvest. I think I'm definitely going to have to weigh them just to see what there is. So yeah, you can see a lot of these are the seed potatoes there. It's a bit of a Pac-Man potato. So yeah, a lot of these are the seeds in there. But there's some good ones in here. Good mixture of sizes as well. There's quite a few pretty much the size what I planted, sort of that sort of size. But they're good to be roasted with salt and pepper, a bit of garlic, maybe a bit of rosemary and that. So yeah, potatoes just keep coming. So that, I'm not going to say, I'm not going to lie, they're not perfect condition, but that'll peel okay. It's only scab. Nothing's bored into them, but what I can tell so far. Oh my god, I'm going to be here forever. There's another seed potato. I think that's about it. One more. As Scott says, there's always one more. So Scott's had some great harvests on Cookie Cottage this year, the British Queens and the Charlottes and the Satanta. Oh, there's a seed. I think that one is as well. So I think that's about it. I'm not going to pour them all out to show you because it's going to take me ages to put them all back in, but I will get the camera and lift it over. Oh, there's another little... Right, let me give you a look at them. Well, do you know what? I'm pretty happy about that. From all those little potatoes, you know, that sort of size. How many was in there? About 16 maybe? 16 little potatoes like that. Got a decent crop. I mean, they're not perfect, that's the worst one by the looks of it. But in fact, something might have got in there. But yeah, not too bad. Perhaps give them a wash up in a bit, wash and rinse, and give them away. Well, I'll tip the other ones out first, or next, and yeah, we'll see what they're like. Hopefully they might be a bit better because they're slightly bigger potatoes, more energy. Let's tip them out and find out. Okay, so I've already pulled the foliage off this, and most of it had died back, you know, way more than the other ones. So these are possibly first or second earlies, and the other ones may have been main crop still. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see if these ones are bigger. These ones have died off, they might not be, although because they probably died off, they might have fattened up a bit more. So I'll put all the little potatoes in that bag here. We'll put all these medium-sized ones in this bag here, even the green ones. But I do really like these recycling containers to grow in. They're pretty good. Look, there's a worm there, look. We'll put him in the shade over here. So once again, I'll chuck out any of these little seed potatoes, but they don't seem as big at the moment. Or do they? Look at that, that's not too bad. It has got a little bit of a split in that one though. But they're pretty good. Happy with that. So not all the seed potatoes have been spent again, but oh my god, yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, these definitely look like a first or second early. I'm just trying to think what I grew last year. I grew 9 varieties, and all these little piddly ones sort of all got slung in a bag together. Well, a lot of them did. The ones that didn't get put in soups did. But yeah, I think it's going to be maybe quite a close contest, this. There might not be much in it, you know, little medium potatoes, and you know, about the same sort of size, probably got the same sort of energy. It's probably more to do with the fertilizer you put in or the compost you use. But yeah, definitely got a little bit of energy left in these seed potatoes. But at least there's still quite a few worms in there. This one feels a bit more moist than the other one. But yeah, loads of potatoes in there. It's going to be a super duper harvest. From everything pretty much free. I mean, obviously the fertilizer wasn't free, but for what I put in there, I mean, it was probably, I don't know, 2 or 3 quid's worth of fertilizer maybe. But there's some half decent size potatoes. There's still some tiny little ones, obviously. Let's see, it's a bit mushy. Right. But yeah, don't throw your old compost away, for God's sake. I mean, either put it back through your composting system, or, you know, put it back into one of these big containers. I mean, over winter, just put all your grass clippings and leaves and stuff like that, and put it on your soil, and the earthworms will come up into it, and they'll eat all the leaves and everything on top and take it back down into the compost and reinvigorate it for you for free. Yeah, seeing a guy does that. He stacks all his pots up in a corner, covers every single pot with seaweed and grass clippings and leaves and stuff like that, and then yeah, he just reuses it in the spring for potatoes and everything again, carrots. Right, I think we're getting somewhere now. Almost to the end, another seed potato. Well, anyone with an eagle eye will be able to count how many potatoes I put in at the start if I want to go back and pause it or whatever. So definitely getting there now. Yeah. Done. Yeah, so I can still see some of the sulphur wasn't decomposed down yet. I've been eaten by soil organisms. And I had sulphur, help keep the pH down, and it's the fourth nutrient what plants need after like NPK. So I think that's about it. Right. Oh, there's a tiny little one. Another seed there. Right, I think that's it. If I find any more when I'm emptying it back into it. Right, sorry about that. My memory just ran out on my Pocket 3, so I just had to delete some old footage. But yeah, so what I'm going to do, empty this compost back into this container. Any little potatoes like that going into here. And yeah, when I've done this, I'll bring you back to see what potatoes we've got. Okay, so this is the harvest from the medium-sized potatoes, and yeah, possibly a couple of kilograms there, not too bad. This is the harvest from small potatoes, and you can see they're a lot cleaner. They've come out cleaner. I think it would probably be just more damp in that, but yeah, there's definitely a better yield in this one, the medium-sized ones. But it's definitely worth doing if you've just got a spare container with a load of little potatoes, some free compost and what have you. And or maybe, sorry, not free, but used compost or your own made compost. It's definitely worth doing. So I'm just going to get the scales hooked up and we'll see what the weight is. I'm intrigued to find out. Let me try and get this down so you might be able to see it. Right. So it's saying 4.9 pounds. That's pretty good, I'm happy with that. What is it in kilograms? So 2.2 kilograms or 4.9 pounds. That's for the small ones. So just zeroed it, we'll put it back onto pounds, and I hope you can see that. Yeah. Let me just sort of come out, right. 6.8 pounds or 3.1 kilograms. So that's pretty good, I'm happy with that. So it's definitely worth growing little piddly potatoes in my opinion. If that's all you've got access to, yeah, definitely worth it. So yeah, give us a thumbs up if you've got anything from the video, and please consider subscribing, and give me a thumbs up. Yeah, I've just noticed that one's got a bit of a nibble out of it. It's probably slug damage, but I'm happy with that. Good harvest. Probably better than the ones I bought actually from Estima. Yeah, thanks a lot, goodbye.